Hey Mike, we're looking at an aerial photo of some kind. What's this all about?
This is an aerial photo taken of the area called Tanglewood, which is where our Bigfoot Museum is. The Bigfoot Museum is located right there at the bottom of San Lorenzo Avenue. This is the top of the ridge over here. This is about 3 miles up. This is Highway 9. So the Bigfoot's here, and then this is a quarry at the top of this ridge. There's a couple of creeks that come down from the quarry. One that goes off to this side called Shingle Mill Creek, and another one that comes off to this side that's called Gold Gulch Creek. Now, we had been hearing a lot of reports from the area around the quarry. In other words, there's these little narrow roads that go up in here, and there's houses that are kind of nestled in and built up against the ridge in places and crammed into these little small roads up here. So it's a fairly busy little neighborhood, but then there's all this forest surrounding it. And because this part of it right in here is on a slant because it's the hill, the flat part starts right about here. So it's flat down here, and then this is a hill that gets progressively higher, steeper as you go up. And then you get up here to about 1,600 feet where the quarry is. The lower part's about 16, the higher part's 18. So anyway, we had a couple of different reports come in that made us interested in the quarry and the area and the neighborhoods below the quarry. One report of screams in the night resulted in us finding this little stick construction along the creek. Now that creek comes off of this side, off of Gold Gulch. Gold Gulch Creek is the first tributary to the San Lorenzo River, which is the main river in our little valley here. It's at the bottom of the watershed and where all the water runs to. Gold Gulch Creek is the first tributary that actually has steelhead going up it when they're spawning. So it's a major tributary to the San Lorenzo River, and the first one that has fish in it of any appreciable size. So we believe that this might be a Bigfoot structure where a Bigfoot would hunt, either hunt for the deer and the wild pigs that go through this neighborhood, or wait for the fish to come up, because the creek is right here where my finger is, just below this little stick house. So we had that. We had reports of screams, and we had the report of, and I want to show you here, this is like I said, it's at the end of about a 3-mile road. It's a good half to 3/4 of a mile from the last of the houses up that road until you come to the quarry. This is the entrance to the quarry, and it's gated here, and this is closed at about 3 in the afternoon, and at that point on you can't get up to Empire Grade, which is the main road up on the ridge. It's up here behind the quarry, but you can't access it on this road without going through the quarry. So we had another person come into the museum and tell us that she was up at the quarry late one night. She was new to the area and got lost. And when she came to the dead end where the gate is, she was turning her car around. And this is what it looks like on the edge of the road, real close to the quarry entrance. But this was 11:30 at night, so this would have been all black, all dark. She said as she was turning, she looked into the off to the edge of the road and saw red eye shine, which she claimed was a good 8 feet up off the ground. And it scared her quite a bit. And anyway, enough that she came in and told us about it. So what with the little stick house, several reports of loud screams, and this eye shine report, we decided that we better go up there and see what we can find. So around midnight, we headed up to the quarry. It was myself and Ralph and Bill, two of our members. Ralph's our head field guy. So we go up into the quarry, and I want to show you here that inside the quarry, in the middle of the pond there, of the quarry, there's a pond. You can see it on the other side of this little ramp road here where the trucks go through. And it's a pretty good sized pond. There's a person right there to give you an idea of scale. And the night that we went up there, we circumvented the whole thing looking for the best vantage point, and we ended up right up here on this mound up above the pond. So 1:30 in the morning or so, we set up right there. we had been there already for an hour and a half and had been hearing screams off in the distance. So anyway, here we are sitting there. We've been hearing these screams all night long, and then at about 4 a.m. we decided that the screams were getting close enough that we should start recording. And so what happened was from having been there before and having been out before and trying to communicate, make sounds to attract Bigfoot and so on, we found out that certain sounds will attract the animals. And I found out one night that when I do this, some mallard ducks go nuts. So anyway, we're sitting there, it's 4 a.m., and I made that sound in an attempt to initiate a little bit of activity from the animals. And what I'm going to play now is what happened. So you'll hear the popping sound, and then you're going to hear a bird respond to that. There's a pause, you'll hear a dog bark, and there's kind of a pandemonium. Now, during the course of the pandemonium, you're going to hear what is obviously coyotes, and quite a number of them. And then as the coyotes approach and start making all their noises, I'm going to suggest there's some guttural sounds mixed in with those coyote sounds that are not coyotes. I believe they're Bigfoot. I think there was at least one there with the coyotes. And here we go. Here come the bird. Here comes the dog. And here come the coyotes, etc. Now you're going to hear where the birds start getting excited and all these sounds going. I'll cue you when to listen for the Bigfoot sound. Here we go. Now listen. I'm going to stop it there because we were talking then because we were concerned about how many coyotes actually were out there and whether or not we should be concerned about that because it was obvious they were surrounding us. We had coyotes on this side, coyotes on that side, coyotes in front of us, but as I pointed out, we're up on the top of this thing, so you walk up this hill and then it flattens out, and we're up there next to this pond right up here, and they were down the hill about where this vantage point is on this initial shot. So the coyotes were down right about here where this gate is, and so they were out of sight of us, right on the edge of the forest, but completely surrounding this whole area around the top of the entrance to the quarry. And when I made that high sign, there's a sound that sounds like whoa, 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 like that. And I didn't hear that until I'd listened to this thing several times when I picked that sound out. Last October, we had Scott Nelson here as one of our presenters at Bigfoot Discovery Day 3. And while he was here, I asked him if he would kindly listen to this recording we made at the quarry, because I thought it was kind of interesting that it sounded like coyotes and other things. And he sat down and listened, and he actually said that, in his opinion, that guttural that I'm pointing out is definitely a Bigfoot sound. He said it reminded him of other sounds he's heard on the Sierra Sounds tapes. And he also suggested that some of what sounds like coyote sounds are actually the Bigfoot imitating coyotes. So this is the impression we got. And then, months later, Scott Nelson sat down and said that's what he's getting. And I played it for you, so you be the judge.